We now call 24 CR 2392, the state of Texas.
Welcome back to another shocking courtroom moment. Today we're inside a Texas courtroom where 18-year-old Keeler Ivan Maldonado faces sentencing for aggravated robbery, a first-degree felony. The stakes? Up to life in prison. The judge, the defense, and the state are about to clash over whether Maldonado deserves a second chance or hard prison time. But here's the twist. What begins as a plea for leniency quickly unravels when the judge exposes the real truth about what happened that night. Stay tuned because this case has it all. Guns, contradictions, and a decision that could define Maldonado's entire future.
Versus Keeler Ivan Maldonado.
Sir.
That is you, sir.
Sir.
Present with your attorney, Mr. Grove, and the state's attorney. Earlier, you pleaded guilty to the first-degree felony of aggravated robbery. A pre-sentence report has been prepared. Have the parties had an opportunity to review it? Are there any corrections or changes to it?
None from
Stay.
Your Honor.
Well, what about the
Your Honor,
defense?
I reviewed the report with Mr. Maldonado, and the defense has no changes to make to the report.
Then the pre-sentence report is made a part of the record for all purposes. The agreement is whatever sentence.
Right here, the judge lays out Maldonado's sentencing options. No less than 5 years, no more than 12 years, or a rare shot at deferred adjudication probation. But notice, because a deadly weapon was used, regular probation is completely off the table. This is critical. In Texas, once a firearm enters the equation, leniency becomes almost impossible. The only soft landing is deferred adjudication, where Maldonado avoids a conviction if he completes probation. But one misstep? He could face life in prison. What do you think? Should someone who used a rifle in a robbery even have this chance?
It shall not exceed a cap of 12 years in prison. So we're looking at no less than 5, no more than 12 years imprisonment. Regular probation is not an option because a deadly weapon firearm was used in the commission of the offense, which gives the only other option to be deferred or unadjudicated probation, which can be up to 10 years in length. I think those are the two options, correct, everybody?
That's correct.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Grove, on behalf of the defense.
I'm going to be very brief, Judge. I believe that this is a very unfortunate thing that Mr. Maldonado was involved in.
Certainly was unfortunate for the victim.
Well, and it's unfortunate for Mr. Maldonado and the other folks that were there because there were a number of other people that were at least.
The defense makes a strong pitch. Maldonado has no prior felonies, was employed at the time, and supposedly recognizes this as the biggest mistake of his life. On paper, that sounds sympathetic. But watch closely. Judges don't just consider clean records. They also weigh the violence of the act and the danger to the community. The defense's request for deferred probation sounds reasonable until you remember one key fact. Maldonado pointed a rifle at another human being's chest. Does a lack of prior record outweigh an act this extreme? That's the tension building right now.
Present. But I think based on Mr. Maldonado's past, and when I say his past, that's the lack of a past where he has had no prior felony convictions. He has been very good as far as things goes until this deal here. And this was not in any way justifiable, but I believe Mr. Maldonado realizes that this could have been the biggest mistake of his life and that he isn't going to let it happen again. He also dropped out of school before he got his high school diploma, and I believe he realizes how important that is. At the time when this occurred, he was employed for the city of Port Arthur, so he was working at the time, but this is just very regrettable, and I believe that he realizes that. And if the court were to grant him deferred adjudication, I believe that would be in the best interest of everyone involved. And I ask for the court to do that, grant him deferred adjudication.
Here comes the bombshell. The defense and state tried to downplay Maldonado's role, but the judge shreds that narrative using the presentence report. Turns out Maldonado wasn't just there. He was the one who pressed the muzzle of the rifle against the victim's chest, demanding jewelry. He was also the only adult in a group of juveniles. This changes everything. Suddenly the story shifts from wrong place, wrong time to leader of the crime. And when a judge catches a defendant lying or minimizing involvement, that destroys credibility fast.
State, what do you want to say?
Your Honor, obviously it's a very serious offense. However, it does appear from the facts and reading it that the defendant is not the one who actually pointed the weapon at the victim in this case. Obviously, we know that doesn't absolve him from that, but it does appear he doesn't have any other history. I don't think we would necessarily, in this case, be opposed to a deferred, but obviously, to the court's discretion. This did involve robbing a young man at a park that had pulled a gun out on him. And I believe after he told him, no, I'm not, going to give you my chain or whatever, they ended up leaving at that point after initially threatening him. And they were found shortly later in a parking lot. And there was a gun in that vehicle.
I believe that's true. There was no restitution, Judge, although if there was, it certainly we would be willing to pay that, but I don't believe there was any loss.
Y'all read the pre-sentence report and the probable cause affidavit? It's completely different from what you're telling me. He was the one that came out with the rifle. He's the one that pointed the gun at the chest of the person. The others were.
This is a devastating moment. Maldonado insists he wasn't lying, but the judge isn't buying it. In court, honesty can make or break your future. When a defendant clings to half-truths, even after pleading guilty, the judge sees it as arrogance, not remorse. And notice the judge's tone. Sharp, relentless, pressing for the truth. That's because when someone lies in sentencing, it undermines trust in the entire justice process. Here's the question for you. If you were the judge, would you give him a second chance after hearing this? Or would the lies seal his fate?
All juveniles. He was the only adult in the group. That's what's clear in the pre-sentence report. And
this is where the judge really drives home the gravity of the situation. He paints a chilling picture. Had Maldonado pulled the trigger and killed the victim, his only sentencing options would have been life without parole or the death penalty. Think about that. One impulsive act separates probation from a possible death sentence. It's a powerful reminder that aggravated robbery with a firearm isn't just about theft. It's about risking someone's life. And at just 18 years old, Maldonado is being forced to confront how close he came to losing his future entirely.
That's what's clear in the probable cause affidavit. Maldonado approached Contreras, demanded him to give him 2 necklaces that were worn by Contreras. During the time, Maldonado pressed the muzzle of the rifle up to the victim's chest, but he still refused to give him his property. After that, several other subjects in the gang of thieves exited his vehicle and came up to the lone victim who was helpless and demanded and threatened him to give up the necklaces. He still refused. Then the defendant and the others left. He was the only adult in the group. The other 4 juveniles are being processed as juveniles. Now, his version. I was with some other people. We stopped at a park. We saw this guy. We robbed him. They passed me the gun. I just went along with this, even though I didn't want to. So much for taking full responsibility. That doesn't help him. He can't even tell me the truth. He can't even tell the truth. At this stage, when he's got everything to lose by not telling the truth. All right.
Yes, sir. I would point out that he did
12 years in prison. You know, if I sentence you to 12 years in prison, you can't get out until 50% of it is served at least. You'd have to be there for at least 6 years. Do you understand that? You want to tell me the truth about what happened now, or are you going to continue to lie?
That's what I said.
I'm sorry.
So I'm not lying, sir. Like I said, we went to the park.
Who stuck the gun in his chest, sir?
Who me, sir? I had
All right. It's not what everybody's saying here. You were the oldest in the group, weren't you?
Yes, sir, I was.
Well, you know, had you fired the gun into his chest and killed him, there'd only be two choices. The death penalty or life without parole. Those would have been the only options under license. Really? You thought this was a wise idea?
Now the judge zeroes in on another key issue. Where did the rifle come from? Maldonado's answers are vague, evasive, and inconsistent. First, he claims it was in my S, then shifts blame to a friend named Daniel he barely knew. Judges can spot when someone is fabricating details, and every glance away, every uncertain answer only makes things worse. Remember, credibility isn't just about proving innocence. It's about showing the court you can be trusted moving forward. And right now, Maldonado is doing the exact opposite.
Why'd you pick on that guy?
Wasn't mine, sir.
Sir? Why'd you pick on? Was he just the most helpless person you could find?
No, sir.
The most vulnerable person?
Yes, sir.
What?
I don't know. It's just wasn't.
Anything else?
No,
I'm still a little unclear about the state. What's the state asking for?
Your Honor, them not having the history, obviously it's very serious, would defer to the court, although I don't know that we would be opposed to the deferred in this, where he'd be facing the, obviously, the maximum range of punishment if he decides to screw up at any point in this.
Anything else? Anybody just say?
just certainly with the regular probation being eliminated by the state, by the law, not by the prosecutor. If Mr. Maldonado does screw up, the court has a much wider range of things he do. I think this will be the last time the court will see Mr. Maldonado. I think his background, although he has not been perfect, and in this case, there's no doubt that this is not justified.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that for whatever reason, he decided to do this before he had any other criminal history. And he wants to make a success of his life, and will be able to do so. And if he doesn't, then he's looking at 20 years in prison that the court could sentence him to.
How's that?
It'd be 5 to 99 or life.
How's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Five or 99. The court could be looking at giving him 99. I apologize. I was thinking it was second degree, but it's not. It's a first degree. He could get up to life in prison if the court decides to go ahead and revoke his
Do
probation.
you have any family here?
My parents.
Your parents?
Yes, sir.
And they've been all here in their presence. And I apologize.
Where did the guns come from? Where did the rifle come from?
It wasn't mine, sir.
I'm going to ask you one more time. That wasn't the answer to the question. Because the answers you've already given haven't been truthful up to now to the probation office or to us.
Came from a friend, sir.
Who?
The woman. People.
What's the friend's name? They got a name? It's a friend. You know the name. I know all my friends' names. What's the friend's name? Don't look at him. Look at me. When you do that, that means you're trying to lie.
Daniel?
Daniel,
I think.
What's his last name?
I'm not sure.
No. How long have you known your friend?
I met him for like 2 months, maybe,
Where'd you meet him?
off of another friend.
2 months ago?
And just when it seems the hammer is about to fall, the judge takes a surprising turn. Despite the lies, despite the seriousness, Maldonado is granted deferred adjudication probation for 10 years. This means if he succeeds, his record stays clean. But here's the kicker. If he fails, the judge can sentence him to life in prison. Think about the gamble here. The court is essentially saying, we'll give you one shot, but if you blow it, you'll pay the ultimate price. Do you think this was mercy? Or a ticking time bomb?
Like 2 months I had met him.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
No,
2
like, I
months
had
ago.
No, not 2 months ago. Like I had knew him for like 2 months.
Oh, when this had happened?
Yeah, like
When this event happened?
Yes, sir.
Where did you meet him?
Where did I meet him?
I asked you first.
Off of another friend. Like I met that friend off of another friend. It makes sense.
So how did this firearm thing come up? How did that?
We was all together at first. Like we was just together, and then we had went to the park.
Well, why were you selected to stick the rifle in the child's chest?
Sure, sir.
I wasn't there. You were there. You know what happened.
Yes, sir.
Think about it while you make up a story.
Just
Okay. Anything else?
no.
All right. The agreement is a cap of 12 years. That's the most you can receive. 12 years in prison, no less than 5, nor more than 12 years confinement in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. The court has reviewed this fully and has read the pre-sentence report and have you ever used drugs before?
Before, yes, sir.
When?
I
How
would
old were
say
you?
like around my 16 to 17.
You were 17 when this happened, right?
Yes.
You were almost 18.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Or
yes, sir. Thanks.
no, you had turned 18 by 1 month. Your date of birth is October 6th,
Yes.
right? Of 06?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this happened November 2nd, 24. So you would have just turned 18, right?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Nothing, state your honor.
Here's what I'm going to do. The cap is 12 years. You don't want to be in there, do you?
Sorry.
6 years at least in prison, and you were in there by yourself. I mean, they got far more meaner people in the prison facility than you can ever imagine. Live with them for 6 years. Good luck. All right, this is a terrible thing you did. You should know. You know better, and shame on you for that. I'm going to find you have pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand.
This is one of the most unusual but powerful conditions. The judge orders Maldonado to complete high school or a GED. On the surface, it sounds almost trivial compared to prison. But there's a deeper message here. Education equals structure, discipline, and better choices. The judge even jokes that it feels like a Twilight Zone episode to threaten someone with life in prison just to make them finish high school. But he's dead serious. This ruling isn't just about punishment, it's about forcing growth. Can education really reform someone who once pressed a rifle into a victim's chest?
And appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty.
Yes, sir.
There's sufficient evidence from State's Exhibit 1 admitted at your plea hearing to support your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt here. However, the court is going to defer any finding of guilt and place you on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 10 years. You better do well. Everything is riding on that. If you fail to complete and follow the terms of your probation. Your probation can be revoked. I can then find you guilty, and then you can be sentenced up to life imprisonment.
Yes, sir.
You understand? All right. How far did you go in school? You didn't graduate. You're going to complete an educational program for high school equivalency, GED. There will be terms and conditions of probation, such as completing a moral reclamation therapy program. That is a program that helps you understand and appreciate when you victimize people. You just don't walk away from it. You have to empathize with the people you harm and try to help fix the mess that you make. This is all about growing up and being responsible. You should have known this at your age, that sticking the gun in somebody's chest and stealing stuff from them is serious. You have the control
And there you have it. Keeler Ivan Maldonado, just 18 years old, avoids up to 12 years in prison and instead walks out with 10 years of deferred probation, strict conditions, weekend jail time, and the looming threat of life behind bars if he slips up. The judge made it crystal clear: lie, fail school, or reoffend, and the next stop is prison for decades, or worse. This case is a fascinating blend of mercy and warning, showing how the justice system sometimes balances punishment with rehabilitation. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
the power, not them. And that's not the way the creator meant it to be. You're not supposed to take advantage of people. You will have no contact with the victim or anyone on behalf of the victim, such as family members. And that is by telephone, social media, to a third party. You will avoid all association with the co-defendants in this case, the 4 others. There are 31 conditions here, but most of those are the requirements all of us have to follow. Don't commit crimes. You will have a curfew. You're going to act responsibly, or else you pay a serious price. You also can't stick a rifle in somebody's chest, threaten their life, and steal. You're going to go to jail for a little while. I can place you in jail for up to 180 days. Do you go to school? What grade did you complete? Did you complete high school?
11th grade, no, 10th grade, dropped out.
Why?
Just wanted to start working instead of.
Did your parents condone that? You know what that means, condone, approve of that?
approve that? No, sir.
So you went against their wishes?
Just didn't want to go to school.
Yeah, well, you guess what? You're going to go to school. Like it or not, you're going to get an education. It makes you make wise choices. You can see the foolish choices you've made while you haven't been going to school. Education is a wise thing. I made that up, but it sounds like it was the right thing to say. But it helps you make better choices. You're going to complete your high school education as a condition of this, like it or not. I mean, how I have to force somebody, threatening them with life imprisonment to complete your high school education sounds like a Twilight Zone episode. It just doesn't make any sense. It's off the grid. But this is conventional behavior that works. All right. You're going to have to do 180 days, and I will decide when you've had enough. You will do this on weekends. You will check in on or before 6:00 p.m. on Friday. They will release you Sunday. You will go to school during the week when you get into school, and that has to be done at the earliest possible time. You will attend school and complete your high school education. You will act responsibly. That's what all of these conditions are all about. Once again, if you fail, you're looking at life imprisonment. And all of those, every one of those conditions help you be a better person. Why you would work against that defies logic. But start acting, with intelligent thought, and school will help you. And also the probation office will help you. We have a 93% success rate, which is far higher than the national average. That's because we know what we're doing to help people fix their problems, except for the 1 in 14 who don't. All right. Anything else to add? Did you have any questions for me from parties?
None from the
Please see
state.
the probation officer
Starting weekends today or next week?
next weekend. That begins next Friday. Don't get in any trouble in the jail.
Yes, sir.
I find out on Mondays when people file up who are on my watch. And that would be a term of probation violation. Okay, do you understand? Oh. Please see the probation officer. Thank you.